Get started. I would like to call to order the special city council meeting. The time is now 5:37 PM. City Clerk Duarte, will you please take roll?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Frometa,
Present.
Councilmember Trujillo,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Alvarez,
Present.
and Mayor Pacheco.
Present. City Clerk Duarte, have we received any written correspondence on closed session items to be read into the record?
We have not, Mayor.
Members of the public wishing to address the city council regarding closed session items may now come forward and form a line. Each speaker will have 4 minutes to address the council on items listed on the special meeting agenda. Is there any speakers?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is this on? Yeah. Okay, I just want to comment, I think we should be commenting after the discussion for the interim city attorney, so we can respond to whatever the council is thinking, but we'll go ahead and do this ahead of time. I think the interim city attorney should be somebody that is going to be more open and more free speech advocacy, and someone who gives advice to the council that is not contradictory as far as policy goes. There's been a lot of contradictions in the policies that this council has been passing that I have noticed only in the last year and a half, 2 years. I think you can be better served. Somebody that is a little more open to some of these things and not as confrontational and authoritarian in nature. Because we do have free speech rights. Not only free speech, but even the advice of going along with the mandates of the COVID restrictions. First Amendment doesn't just lend itself to speech, it lends itself to church gatherings, public gatherings, other things. And we have been denied these unconstitutionally. There is no authority has been given to anybody to shut down our businesses and cost 22 million people their jobs or their careers. And it was unconstitutional also, not just the mask mandates and stay-at-home orders, but the vaccine mandates, which are still being enforced by the LA County, who our representative Janice Hahn is a party to. They are still releasing 4,000 employees from the LA County Sheriff's Office in view of the fact that crime is spiking in our area, in spite of what everybody else tries to tell you it's not on the rise. Everybody knows that is not true, okay? And the advice to shut down speech, I have always implored you to leave it open, but obviously the advice from the city attorney was opposite of that, and our free speech was restricted. And I implored you not to do that, because when you restrict something like this, it's not going to go away, it's going to intensify. And it has intensified, obviously. And it's going to continue to intensify. And then we can't trust unelected bureaucrats like a city attorney who is authoritarian and totalitarian in nature, who is frothing at the mouth to reinstate these restrictive, unconstitutional mandates on our businesses and our residents. And we resent it, and we're tired of the tyranny. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Yes, I'd like to, first of all, submit these documents into the record. And they're open to the public. And they're open to the public because, as you heard earlier regarding the interim city attorney, this authoritarian that's leaving is just a potential reason why we're speaking out against the activity of censorship, monitoring our free speech. But apparently, the written contract to this method of compensation and obligations regarding our First Amendment right under the interim city attorney is how work is or was agreed to be performed. Was it to be used as a tool to prohibit us by this authoritarian dictatorship of our free speech when we attend these meetings under the Brown Act? But most crucial is that our right. Now, the question I have to ask is, does Yvette M. a bitch Garcia have a W-2 form, or was she an independent contractor for the city of Downey these last 7 years as when she began in 2010? That's a question to ask. In addition to that, the interim city attorney coming in, will they be independent or will they be contracted to work for we the people of Downey in the constitutional California rights, our Bill of Rights in California, Mr. Trujillo? Also, what here is depending is the economic relationship, if any, that the interim city attorney will have with the mayor, her boss, and we the people are your boss. We are not OMLO, Mr. Trujillo, when you wear those shirts at your parties, but I'm getting back on subject. 500 South Grand Avenue, 12th floor, LA, 90071 for the record of El Monte. Yes, our discussion for an appointment should be one who is in support, in favor of our free speech, recognize these rules of government code, for example, under Watts versus the United States, LBJ, that, again, public issues should be uninhibited, robust, wide open, and that it may include vehement, caustic, and sometimes unpleasant, sharp attacks. Officers, you understand that, Sergeant of Arms? So don't engage with criminals or corruption to suppress us when we have the floor.
Mr. Herman, on topic.
Right. So the interim city attorney should understand that you have no right to violate our constitutional stance here at the podium because we're directing the course of what you say and what you shouldn't say in support of what we favor, and that is the interim city attorney. Now, as far as labor negotiations with the Downey Police and the Fire Department, fuck the unions. They're terrible. They are terrible. Because the moment you're not on their side, whether you're an officer or fireman, they throw you under the bus. And then you're terminated, and now you fear that you're not going to get all your perks and benefits. And that's what unions are for, to screw you, pump you, stroke after stroke. And again, that's Government Code Section 54957.6, Item 2, Item 3, regarding James McQueen, Human Resource Director for labor negotiations.
Thank you, Mr. Herman.
And here's another public document for the record. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, sir.
Okay, so the interim city attorney.
Using said manager. So the interim city attorney, who should that person be? Like, what kind of person should they be? So I definitely think they shouldn't be the type of city attorney that lends themselves to conspiracies, to, for example, silence the public. So I'm going to turn in for the record something I've turned in for the record before. That's the invoice from Scarborough Law. This lawyer was paid out a total of $3,895 as far as we know. There may have been more. to attempt to silence members of the public, myself included, for talking about water quality issues. So, of course, that was an unconstitutional attack on free speech. The memo, the invoice says that Ms. Scarborough began drafting letters and correspondences with the city attorney, Avich Garcia, and D. Mueller, that she analyzed. She charged $350 per hour to do this. So, you know, you're always claiming that you're a fiscally responsible city, but here you are paying an attorney from Orange County $350 to attack an hour, to attack free speech rights, certainly the right to talk about something as important as water, the water quality. But of course, then later we learned that, you know, it's not just about the water quality. There's other issues that have been going on with the water, like you haven't been paying for your own use of water, so maybe that's part of the reason why we're getting a new city attorney. So the whole thing is just ridiculous. Like, how dare you spend $3,885 of the public's money, and without council approval, to go after the free speech rights of members of the public, myself,
You've been warned.
there was another person. So I am on topic. This is the topic we're talking about.
It's not water, it's interim city attorney.
The interim city attorney should not be a person that does basically what the city attorney did in the past, which was to attack the free speech rights of community members. There was even, as I understand it, a letter sent to a Facebook page to say, don't talk about that. So that's ridiculous. We don't want our city, future city interim attorney to be engaging in those activities. We should be much more mindful of the public dollars. We do not want a situation, again, where this interim city attorney or whoever replaces them spends $3,885 to attack free speech rights. That's just crazy. So the interim city attorney should be someone that's ethical, transparent, actually stands up for the public, the city, because they're employed by the city, by the taxpayers, not by the council members. They should not be just like the council members' personal attorneys, which is how it's happened here, and in many other cities it happens like that too. No, the city attorney should be someone that is mindful of the public dollar and the public's needs and rights. So that's why, again, we will not tolerate, we will not allow another city attorney to spend $3,885 to attack free speech rights, really, of anyone. So that's why we have the First Amendment, and we need an interim city attorney that defends that.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers, is there a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Is there a second? So moved by the mayor. Next up, approved closed session minutes of December 16, 2021, January 25th, 2022, February 8th, 2022, February 22nd, 2022, March 8th, 2022, and March 22nd, 2022. Is there a motion and a second to approve? City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll? Vote.
The motion is approved unanimously.
Thank you. The City Council is now going to recess to a closed session of the City Council under the following authorities. 1, Public Employee Appointment Discussion, Government Code Section 54957, Title Interim City Attorney. Number 2, Government Code Section 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiator James McQueen, Human Resources Director regarding direction for labor negotiations with Downey Police Officers Association. Number 3, Government Code Section 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiator James McQueen, Human Resources Director regarding direction for labor negotiations with Downey Firemen's Association. Number 4, Government Code Section 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiator James McQueen, Human Resources Director regarding direction for labor negotiations with Downey Fire Management Association. The time is now 5:52 PM, and we will take a break for closed session.